Foundations at the end of last week. Do y'all remember what I did with you all? Chandler, do you remember?
Sure.
Yes, we were going over schwa sounds. What letter? Do y'all remember what letter? Lori.
Hi.
Yes. So, at the end of last week, we had been working on finding the tricky I schwa sounds in multiple syllable words. That's a mouthful, but do y'all remember that? Do y'all understand what that means?
Yeah.
Okay. So, today we are going to keep doing that. Y'all remember also how we used a lot of strategies to try to figure out what the words mean too? Do y'all remember doing that? It was a little different than how Miss Denton usually does Foundations with you. So do you remember or do you not remember? Okay, so some of you don't remember, and that's okay. That was brand new, and I kind of suspected that y'all wouldn't get it like perfectly the first time you did it. So what we were doing is we're going to do a little more of it today. And what we were doing is we were using something called context clues. So context clues are information that is used in a sentence that, or nearby sentences that will help you figure out and understand the meaning of words that you don't know. That was the wrong side. Yeah. So context clues are information used in sentences or nearby sentences that will help you figure out the meanings of words that you do not know. Do y'all remember doing that last week?
Yeah.
I had y'all find some words with the specific I schwa, and then you had to write what you thought it meant based on the a couple sentences. Do y'all all remember that now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Alright, so last week we were also focusing on 5 different specific kinds of context clues. They were inferences, definitions, examples, antonyms, and synonyms.
Synonyms.
And some of those might not have been very familiar to you either. So we're going to just go over them a little more today, and then I'm going to give you another reading passage like we did last week. So, an inference is a guess based on information already known. It's not a random guess. It's not like, oh, I just think this word means this, and you just say something random. So an inference is when you use your own ideas you've learned foreseeing a word, an unknown word, to make a sort of guess about what it means. Is it a random guess though? No, what kind of guess is it? Context. You're right, you're getting there. So it's a guess based on what? Chandler? You don't know? Mackenzie, do you know?
It's something that you based on that you already know.
Yes, so so inferences are guesses based on information you already know. So it's based on information you have already in your head and then information that the reading will give you. So you use both of those things and you kind of combine them to come up with the meaning of a word. So for example, in this sentence it says, the dark gray sky and heavy rain made the day feel dreary. Have any of you heard the word dreary before? No one's heard the word dreary? Dreary?
I heard it.
You've heard it before? Where have you heard it before?
My mom was like, I don't know, but she was saying something about that. I don't know what she was saying about it, but I heard G.
Okay, so you've heard the word before. Okay, so that was a good example for me to use. So if I have the sentence, the dark gray sky and heavy rain made the day feel dreary. Did y'all see outside this morning how it was really dark and cloudy? How did that make y'all feel? Does it make you feel super happy and excited, or does it make you feel kind of bleh?
It makes me kind of feel scared because you don't know if there's gonna be a tornado.
Okay, so those are all negative feelings, right? Okay, so if I were to make a guess based on guys, put everything down. Okay, so if I were to make a guess based on information I already know, if the sky was dark, it was a dark gray, and it was raining, and I was just feeling really tired because the weather was bad outside, and I said, the day feels dreary, I would say that dreary means sleepy, tired, dark, gloomy. Do you know all those words? Okay, so do y'all think y'all understand what dreary means?
Yeah.
Okay, do we understand, or is some of this still confused?
Should be like in the middle.
Okay, so some of y'all get it. It's okay. We'll go over a few more examples. Alright, so the next type of clue is a definition. Who can tell me what a definition is? This is probably the easiest type of context clue we'll go over. Yes, ma'am. So, yeah. So you're close. Those words though are like when context clues use a definition, a lot of the times it will say like during dreary means it's dark and rainy outside. Does that make sense? Okay. So
Like if you were saying it is really wait, hold on. Leashes are
okay, we'll let you talk in a minute, okay? Sit your desk down. Okay, so definitions are so when a writer uses a definition as a context clue, they will often use words like something is blank, or they are blank, or blank means they'll tell you like exactly what they mean. So when a text usually uses those phrases, like right here, after it, that's where the definition will be. For example, I don't know if I wrote this one down. Yeah. So no, I didn't. Okay, so an example of a definition would be Chandler and Oakley. Pay attention. Okay, so for example, an author is the writer of a book. So what is an author? What does author mean? It's a person who wrote a book. Good job. Okay, so the next type of context clue is an example. And an example is a pretty easy one. I think you should all be able to do this. So, giving examples is kind of what I've been doing for this whole first half of the lesson, right? Okay, so I gave an example of an inference, an example of a definition, and then I'll give an example of an example, but that's kind of a confusing way to say it. So an example clue is when a list is given of items that mean about the same thing. So do any of you know what the word utensils means? Dakota. How do you know that a utensil could be a fork? You don't know? Is a fork an example of a utensil? So that's how we would use that one. So if all the students brought their utensils to the class picnic, such as plastic forks, knives, and spoons, then the forks, knives, and spoons are examples of utensils, right? And the fourth clue is an antonym. Have any of you ever heard of antonyms?
No.
So some of you have. Colin, do you know what an antonym is? You've heard the word before? Okay, so antonyms are words that are opposites. So if you have the word hot, an antonym of hot is cold. If you have the word tall, an antonym of tall is short. So do y'all understand that? Do y'all understand like antonym means opposite?
Yeah.
Okay. Colin, do you have a question?
No, that's what I was going to say.
That means opposite? Yeah. Okay, and then so here's an example of antonym, of the context clue of antonym in a sentence. The artist said that the painting on the wall was just a copy, but the one in the safe was the original. So do any of you think you know which two words in there are antonyms? Brayden.
Copy and original.
Awesome, you're correct. Alright, and then the next type of clue is almost the same thing, but it's a synonym. So if an antonym are when two words are opposite, what do you think a synonym is? Can somebody other than Chandler, Addie, and Brayden answer? those are examples of synonyms, but how do happy and joyful, big and large, scared and afraid relate to each other? What makes them synonyms? Do you know? Do you know? Gracie? Okay, so scared and afraid both mean what? So scared and afraid, big and large, happy and joyful, they all have the same meaning pretty much, right? Good. So a synonym context clue is given when an author gives you a word in a sentence that means almost the same thing as the unknown word. So if you didn't know what the word joyful meant, but an author said, I can't think of an example. So if you didn't know what the word joyful meant, but an author said, my little sister was so joyful because she got a new puppy for Christmas. What might joyful mean? Well, I know you know it means happy, but how does that tell you that that means happy? Daisy. Abby. So if she got a new puppy, might she be happy and joyful? Okay, so they mean the same thing. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to use all of those different things. We're going to use all of those different things to try to explain the meanings of some of your schwa I words. Do y'all remember how we were going over the I schwas? How they're supposed to say long I in this syllable, right? If it's open. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, but what does this say? So it's substitute, not substitute.
No, it would be substitute.
Good. Alright, so why is it substitute and not substitute? What does that mean? Lori.
That means the I is a schwa.
Excellent. You're right. That means the I makes the schwa sound. Okay, so in this sentence, can y'all read this sentence and then use one of our types of context clues we just went over to figure out what the word substitute means? So put your hands down and think about it for a second. Okay, so the word substitute means, yes.
If somebody's coming in for somebody that has to go somewhere.
So the word substitute means, I'm trying to think of it.
Substitute means another teacher that is substituting for another class.
I'm trying to think of a way to put it into the blank. The word substitute means somebody's coming in to replace someone else. Do you think that works? Is that kind of? I think that's kind of what you were trying to say. I think I might have answered it differently, but you were right. Good. So, because what context clue lets you know what the word substitute means? It'll be one of the 5 that we went over. Raiden, do you know? So, well, okay, so did it give an example of what a substitute is?
No, it gave the meaning.
The meaning. Good. So it gave
So it's
the,
number 5.
the meaning of the word, or did it give you another word that meant the same thing? Does it use two words that mean the same thing, like chili and cold, or does it tell you the meaning of the word substitute? You know, I think you might actually be right, but when I was thinking of it, I thought that it said that it gave a synonym because it says, like, the teacher was absent, so a substitute came in, and a synonym for substitute is like a temporary teacher. But I think definition could work too, actually. Do y'all think both of those could work?
Yeah.
Do y'all know, or am I confusing you?
I know what substitute.
Okay, that might be a little confusing. Maybe that was a bad example. But if we just ignore this for now, who can tell me what a substitute means in this sentence? What's a substitute? Rory, what's a substitute?
A substitute is someone that's replacing someone because it has to go to somewhere.
Yeah, so a substitute is a person that comes in to replace a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a definition of the word, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then so a synonym for the word could be like a substitute is a temporary teacher, right?
Yeah.
I think y'all understand. I think I just gave a bad example. So for this example, I'm going to say the word substitute means a teacher that comes in to replace the classroom teacher when she's sick. Because the context clue is a synonym. So substitute is a synonym for temporary teacher right here, which tells us that substitute. That's a really bad example. We'll do another one. Okay, so this is how I explained it. Our teacher was absent, so a substitute came in who was like a temporary teacher for a day. The word substitute means to be a temporary teacher. So the definition of substitute in this sentence is temporary teacher. Does that make sense, or have I just thoroughly confused you?
It makes sense.
Okay. Do y'all think it makes sense? That was a bad example. Okay, so the context clue was a definition. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. Okay, so now I want to know who can tell me what skills we've been going over today. Okay, so the first one, we were decoding. What kind of words were we decoding? So I only have like the same 6 of you raising your hands. Brody, do you know what kind of words we were decoding? No, we're going to ignore the substitute example for now because I completely messed that up. What kind of words were we decoding? What kind of words? Ignore what a substitute is. What kind of word are we decoding? What kind of pattern? Now, if we're just thinking about the phonics part, what do we call this? No, just this. Just the middle syllable.
Oh.
Daisy, can you help him out? A schwa. So it's a schwa in what letter? I. Good. Okay, and then what is something that can help you understand unknown words? What is that called? Chandler. What is it?
Difference?
No. So what clues help you understand unknown words? Do you know? Kidding? What clues help us understand unknown words, Oakley?
If you're like sad, you can do like sad and crying at the same time, and then
pardon the interruption, but if you have any food donations that need to be picked up, can you send them up to the office now? Again, if you have any food donations that need to be picked up, if you'll just send them to the office now. Thank you.
Anybody have food donations? They're taking up food for our food pantry, so, okay. No, the jelly beans, that's for a party, that's something.
Okay, so the answer to that question was context clues. Context clues are information that is used in sentences or nearby sentences. Like it's the word, like if we're trying to find what one particular word means and you read the whole sentence, what it says around that word is our context clues. It's information used in sentences or nearby sentences that will help you figure out the meanings of the words. And then all of these different inferences, definitions, examples, antonyms, and synonyms, those are different types of context clues. So, today we worked on decoding schwa I words, and then understanding unknown words through using context clues, and then explaining the meanings of those words. Do y'all think y'all understand what I was trying to get you to do, or are y'all very confused? Okay, do we understand? Are we kind of in the middle, or are we thoroughly confused? Yeah, I see a lot of sideways thumbs. Okay. Okay, so go back to your seats, please. I have a worksheet I'm going to try to get y'all to do on this. It says quiz, but don't think of it as a quiz. Miss Denton can take it for a grade. That's completely up to her. But I feel like this didn't go super well, but it's okay. Yes, but I already put them in most of your tabs.
Oh, I hear you.
Okay, and if you are confused about the questions on this, I can come explain what the question is asking you. Bessie, what?
Sorry for the interruption. Attention, Miss White. Would you please call the office? Miss White, would you please call the office? Thank you.
Okay, so everybody listen. Okay, so the first question is asking you, what is the purpose of using context clues? When you are thinking about all these different things, like how to use inferences, definitions, examples, antonyms, and synonyms to understand words in sentences, what is the purpose of doing all that? I don't want you to tell me, I want you to write it down.
Get away, fly.
Okay, so think about what a context clue is. Think about what it is and then why you would need to use that. What do you use context clues to do?
What is the context?
I don't want you to talk loud. I'm trying to see what y'all do. gives you clues about what? What do we use context clues to try to figure out? What do you use them to try to figure out?
What the meaning of words. Answer that loud.
What is a context clue? Okay, so why would we need to use that? What do context clues tell us? So what do y'all think the point of me teaching y'all what inferences are, what definitions are, what examples are? Why do you think I wanted y'all to know this? You don't have to answer out loud. I'm trying to help you get an answer for the first question. Like, how can y'all use that when you're reading? What's the purpose? Y'all don't have to answer out loud. I'm just trying to help you get ideas to answer the first question. Yes, Jane? Yeah, that's okay. If you want to write more than 2 lines, you can just turn it over on the back because the back is blank and just put the number 1 and then keep writing. You can move on to the second one if you think you can figure it out. So then in the second question, it wants you to try to figure out what the word resident means. But let's say it out loud because I want to know what everybody thinks. So the sentence is, Mr. Lee is a longtime resident of his town. He has lived there for over 35 years. So if Mr. Lee is a resident of a town, what might resident mean? What in that sentence tells you that? So how do you know? Does everybody think they have an answer for number 2?
No.
Oh, I do. Okay, I don't want to hear your answers. I just want to know if a lot of you are finished or not.
No, I don't know.
Okay. So, based on this sentence, what does resident mean? Mr. Lee is a longtime resident of his town. He has lived there for over 35 years. Does it mean he's visiting somewhere new? Does it mean he's old? Or does it mean he lives in a certain place? Shh, can we stop? Lower the talking just a little bit more. Okay, number 3. Okay, I probably should have made a bigger box for number 3. But number 3 wants you to, just like we do up here. Okay, everybody look up here. Just like we did up here, we broke the word substitute into syllables, right?
Yeah.
So number 3 wants you to break the words into or horrible, and then break it into syllables. Yeah.
I don't know how to spell terrible.
It's right there on the paper.
Terrible.
So just like we did substitute, we broke the word substitute into 3 syllables, right? So how many syllables do you think you would break the word terrible or horrible into? Okay, and then after you broke it into syllables, I want you to circle if you think terrible and horrible are synonyms, or if terrible and horrible are antonyms. Yeah, so, if you figured out if you think it's a synonym or an antonym, either circle one of the words or you can highlight the one you think it is. I'm going over them all with you. Okay, so can you raise your hand if you finished with number 3? Okay, just a couple of you. I'll give you more time to work.
What is the other one?
Okay, so raise your hand if you're ready to move on to question 4. Okay, you're all talking like you're all finished. Okay, just so we don't spend a huge amount of time on it, if you're not done with number 3, we're just going to ignore it for now and we're going to move on to number 4. So, for number 4, what you're doing is you see where it's bolded and it says sentence? Does everybody see that?
So confused.
I've only heard 2 people say yes. Look at number 4 and look at the sentence where it's bolded and it says sentence. Okay? I know, I'm just explaining. So the sentence is, the costume maker knew the dress was feminine when all the girls said they loved its pink colors, flowers, and lace. So in that sentence, I want you to highlight the schwa eyes that you see. And who can remind me what a schwa eye is? Chandler. Okay, but what is a schwa eye?
It's mine.
It says what?
Get this one.
So a schwa eye is an eye that does not say long eye or short eye. it kind of said like in substitute.